I don't know what can be keeping them.
They are late, naturally.
Of course they're late. It never fails.
That's the way the things are today, and there is nothing you can do about that.
Quite right.
When we took this apartment, they were crook enough to have me sign the lease. They were crook enough to take my check for 2 months in advance.
And 1 month security.
And 1 month security. They were crook enough to check my references. They were crook enough about all that. But now we tried to get the icebox fixed, tried to get the door bell fixed, tried to get the leak in the toilet fixed. Just try it. They aren't so crook about that.
Of course. It never fails. People think they can get away with anything these days. And of course they can. I went to buy a new hat yesterday. I said I went to buy a new hat yesterday.
Yes, yes.
Pay attention.
I am paying attention, Mommy.
Well, Daddy, be sure you do.
Oh, I am.
All right, now listen.
I am listening, Mommy.
You sure?
Yes, I'm sure. I'm all ears.
All right. I went to buy a new hat yesterday, and I said, I'd like a new hat, please. And they showed me a few hats. Green ones, blue ones, and I didn't like any of them. Not one bit. What did I say? What did I just say?
You didn't like any of them. Not one bit.
That's right. You keep paying attention. And then they showed me the one that I did like. It was a lovely little hat. And I said, this is a lovely little hat. I'll take this hat. Oh my, it's lovely. What color is it? And they said, this is beige. Isn't it a lovely little beige hat? And I said, oh, it's lovely. So I bought it.
So you bought it.
And so I bought it. And then I walked out of the store with the hat right on my head. And I ran into the chairman of our women's club. And she said, well, my dear, isn't that a lovely little hat? Where did you get that lovely little hat? I've always wanted a wheat colored hat myself. And I said, well, my dear, this hat is beige, beige. And she said, well, my dear, that hat is wheat, wheat. I can tell beige from wheat. And I said, well, my dear, I can tell beige from wheat too. What did I say? What did I just say?
Well, my dear, I can tell beige from wheat too.
That's right. And she laughed and she said, well, my dear, they certainly put one over on you. That's sweet, if I ever saw it. But it's lovely, it's just the same. And then she walked off. She's a dreadful woman, you don't know her. She has dreadful taste, 2 dreadful children, a dreadful house, and an absolutely adorable husband who sits in a wheelchair all the time. You don't know her. Huh? You don't know anybody, do you? She's a dreadful woman, but she's the chairman of our women's club, so naturally I'm terribly fond of her. So, I went right into the hat shop and I said, look here! What do you mean selling me a hat that you say is beige when it's wheat all the time? Wheat! I can tell beige from it any day in the week, but not in this artificial light of yours. They have artificial light, Daddy!
Have they?
And I said, the minute I got outside, I could tell that it wasn't a beige hat, it was a wheat hat! And they said, how could you tell that when you had the top hat on top of your head? Well, that made me angry, so I made a scene right there. I screamed as hard as I could. I took my hat off. I threw it down on the counter. Oh, I made a terrible scene. I said I made a terrible scene.
Yes, good for you.
And I made an absolutely terrible scene, and they became frightened. And they said, oh, madam. But I kept right on. And finally, they admitted that they might have made a mistake, so they took my hat and took the back, and then came out again with a hat that looked exactly like it. I took one look at it, and I said, this hat hat is wheat, wheat. And of course they said, oh no, madam, this hat is beige. You go outside and see. So I went outside. Lo and behold, it was beige. So I bought it.
I would imagine that it was the same hat they tried to sell you before.
Well, of course it was.
That's the way the things are today. You just can't get satisfaction, but you just try.
Well, I got satisfaction.
That's right, Mom. You did get satisfaction, didn't you?
Why are they so late? I don't know. What can be keeping them?
I've been trying for 2 weeks to have the leak in the toilet fixed.
You can't get satisfaction. Just try. I can get satisfaction, but you can't.
I've been trying for 2 weeks and it isn't so much for my sake. I can always go to the club.
It isn't so much for my sake either. I can always go shopping.
It's really for Grandma's sake.
Of course it's for Grandma's sake. Grandma cries every time she goes to the toilet as it is. But now it doesn't work, it's even worse. It makes Grandma think she's getting feeble-headed.
Grandma is getting feeble-headed.
Of course Grandma is getting feeble-headed, but not about her toilet dues.
No, that's true. I must have it fixed.
Why are they so late? I don't know what can be keeping them.
When they came here the first time, they were 10 minutes early. They were quick enough about it then.
Grandma, look at you. What is all that you're carrying?
They're boxes. What do they look like?
Daddy, look at Grandma. Look at all those boxes she's carrying.
Goodness, Grandma, look at all those boxes.
Where'll I put them?
Heavens, I don't know. Whatever are they for?
That's nobody's damn business.
Well, in that case, put them over there next to Daddy.
I sure should get the toilet fixed.
I do wish they would come and fix it. We hear you for hours, whimpering away.
Daddy, what a terrible thing to say to Grandma.
Yeah, for shame talking to me that way.
I'm sorry, Grandma.
Daddy, sorry, Grandma.
Well, in that case, I'll go get the rest of the boxes. I suppose I deserve being told that way. I've gotten so old. Most people think that when you get so old, you either freeze to death or you burn up, but you don't. When you get so old, all that happens is that people talk to you that way.
I said I'm sorry, Grandma.
Daddy said he was sorry.
People being sorry makes you feel better, gives you a sense of dignity. And that's all that's important. A sense of dignity. You gotta have a sense of dignity even if you don't care. Because if you don't have that, civilization's doomed.
You've been reading my book club selections again.
How dare you read Mommy's book club selections, Grandma?
Because I'm old! When you're old, you gotta do something. When you get old, you can't talk to people because people snap at you. When you get so old, people talk to you that way. That's why you become deaf. So you won't be able to hear people talking to you that way. That's why you go and hide under the covers in the big soft bed, so you won't feel the house shaking from people talking to you that way. That's why old people die eventually. People talk to them that way. I gotta go and get the rest of the boxes.
Poor Grandma. I didn't mean to hurt her.
Don't you worry about her. She doesn't know what she means.
She knows what she says, though.
Don't you worry about it. She won't know that soon. I love Grandma.
I love her too. Look how nicely she wrapped these boxes.
Grandma has always wrapped everything nicely to hide the fact that we were very poor. But then I married you, Daddy. Now we're very rich.
Grandma isn't rich.
Oh, you're right. But you've been so good to Grandma. She feels rich. She doesn't know you'd like to put her away in a nursing home.
I wouldn't.
Well, heaven knows I would. I can't stand watching her do the housework, the cooking, polishing the silver, moving the furniture.
She her keep.
She's right. You can't live off people. I can live off of you because I married you, and aren't you lucky all I brought with me was Grandma? A lot of women I know would have brought their whole families to live off of you. All I brought with me was Grandma. Grandma's the only family I have.
I feel very fortunate.
You should. I have a right to live off of you because I married you, and because I used to let you get on top of me and bump your uglies. And I have a right to all your money when you die. And when you do, Grandma and I can leave you all by yourselves, if she's still here. Unless you have her put away in a nursing home.
I have no intention of putting her in a nursing home.
Well, I wish somebody would do something with her.
At any rate, you are very well provided for.
You're my sweet daddy. That's very nice.
I love my mommy.
There. That's the lot of them.
They wrap so nicely, Grandma.
You won't get on my sweet side that way. Telling me how nice the other box is. Not after what you said, how I whimpered for hours.
Grandma!
Shut up! You don't have any feelings, that's what's wrong with you. Old people make all sorts of noises. Half of them they can't help. Old people whimper and cry and belch and make hollow rumbling sounds at the table. Old people wake up in the middle of the night screaming and find out they haven't even been asleep. And when old people are asleep, they try to wake up, but they can't. Not for the longest time.
She's on with one of her lectures again.
And there's more to it.
I'm really very sorry, Grandma.
I know you are, Daddy. It's Mommy over there who makes all the trouble. If you'd listened to me, you would have married her in the first place. She was a tramp, and she's no better now.
Grandma!
Shut up! When she was no more than 8 years old, she used to climb up on my lap and say in a sickening little voice, "When I grow up, I'm going to marry a rich old man." And I warned you, Daddy. I told you to stay away from her type. I told you to. I did.
You stop that. You're my mother, not his.
Yeah?
That's right, Grandma. Mommy is right.
Well, how would you expect somebody as old as I am to remember a thing like that? You don't make allowances for people. I want an allowance.
All right, Grandma. I will see to it.
Grandma, I'm ashamed of you.
It's a fine time to say that. You should have got rid of me a long time ago if that's the way you feel. You should have had Daddy set me up in a business somewhere. I could have gone into the fur business. Or I could have been a singer. But no, not you. You wanted me around so you could sleep in my room and Daddy got fresh on. But now, it isn't important because Daddy doesn't want to get fresh with you anymore. And I don't blame him. You'd rather sleep with me, wouldn't you, Daddy?
Daddy doesn't want to sleep with anyone. Daddy's been sick.
I've been sick.
You see?
I don't even want to sleep in the
You
apartment.
see? I told you.
I just want to get everything over with.
That's right. Why are they so late? Why can't they just get here on time?
Who?
You know, Grandma.
No, I don't.
Well, it doesn't matter whether you do or not.
Is that true?
More or less. Look how pretty Grandma wrapped these boxes.
I didn't really like wrapping them. It hurt my fingers and it frightened me. But it had to be done.
Why?
None of your damn business.
Go to bed.
I don't want to go to bed. I just
Go to bed.
Let her stay, Mommy. It isn't noon yet.
I want to stay here and watch.
Let her watch, Mommy.
Well, all right. You can watch. But don't you dare say a word.
Old people are very good at listening. Old people don't like to talk. Old people are polite to send lavender perfume. Now I'm going to be quiet.
She never mentioned she wanted to be a singer.
It was ages ago. I forgot to tell you about it. Goodness. Here they are.
Who? Who?
Just some people.
The van people? Is it the van people? Have you finally done it? Have you called the van people to come and take me away?
Of course not, Grandma.
Oh, don't be too sure. She'd have you cut off too if she thought she could get away with it.
Come on. Just you wait until I get my hands on you.
Oh, God.
Well, go let them in, Daddy. What were you waiting for?
I think we should talk about it some more. Maybe we've been hasty. A little hasty, perhaps. You might consider pros and the...
No! I won't argue with you. It has to be done.
But I'm not sure that...
No. Open the door.
Was I firm about it?
So firm, so firm.
And decisive?
Oh, Daddy, you were so decisive. I shivered.
And masculine? Was I really masculine?
Oh, Daddy, you were so masculine. I shivered and fainted. Shivered and fainted. You be quiet.
All people have a right to talk to themselves. It doesn't hurt the gums in its comfort.
I shall now open the door.
What a masculine daddy. Isn't he a masculine daddy?
Don't expect me to say anything. All people are opposite.
Oh, your opinions are so bad, you know that?
Maybe we can send them away.
Oh, look at you. You're turning to jelly. You're indecisive. You're a woman.
All right, watch me now. I'm going to open the door. Watch, watch.
We're watching. We're watching.
I'm not.
Watch now, it's opening. It's open. Here they are.
Here they are.
Where?
Come in, you're late. But of course, we expected you to be late. We were saying that we expected you to be late.
Oh, Daddy, don't be so rude. We were just saying that you just can't get satisfaction these days. And we were talking about you, of course. Won't you come in?
Thank you. I don't mind if I do.
We're very glad that you are here. Late as you are. You do remember us, don't you? You were here once before. I'm Mommy, and this is Daddy, and that's Grandma's ordering there in the corner.
Hello, Mommy.
Hello, Daddy, and hello there, Grandma.
Now that you're here, I don't suppose you could go away and maybe come back some other time?
No, we are much too efficient for that. I said hello there, Grandma.
Speak to them, Grandma.
I don't see them.
Hey, Grandma, they are here.
Yes, we are here. I'm Mrs. Barker. I remember you. Don't you remember me? I don't recall. Maybe you were younger or something.
Grandma, what a terrible thing to say.
Oh, no, don't scold her, Mommy. Well, she knows. She may be right.
Mrs. Parker, is it? Won't you sit down?
Thank you. I don't mind if I do.
Mrs. Barker, would you like a cigarette? Or a drink? Or would you like to cross your legs?
You forget yourself, Mommy. I'm a professional woman. But I will cross my legs.
Yes, make yourself comfortable.
I don't mind if I do.
Are they still here? Be quiet, Grandma.
Yes, we are still here. My, what an attractive apartment you have.
Oh, yes, it is. But let me tell you what a trouble it
I was
is.
thinking
I was listening outside.
about the icebox and the door.
And the toilets, yes. We have to know everything in our work.
Exactly, what do you do?
Yes, what is your work?
Well, my dear, for one thing, I'm chairman of your women's club.
Don't be ridiculous. I was talking to the chairman of our women's club just yesterday. So you are. Daddy, remember the lady I was telling you about? The lady with the husband who sits in a swing? Remember? Of course you know. Mrs. Barker, I would have known you anywhere, except in this artificial light. And look, you have a hat just like the one I bought yesterday.
No, this hat is cream.
Well, that may look like a cream hat to you, but I can tell.
Now, you seem to forget who I am.
I do. Don't I? Mrs. Barker, are you comfortable? Would you like to take off your dress?
I don't mind if I do.
There, you must feel a great deal more comfortable.
Well, I certainly look a great deal more comfortable.
I'm going to blush and giggle.
Daddy's going to blush and giggle.
You are lucky to have such a man for a husband.
Don't I know it?
I just blushed and giggled in. Then sticky red.
Isn't Daddy a caution, Mrs. Barker?
boxes? Is that what you meant, Grandma?
I don't know if it's what I meant or not. Certainly not what I thought I meant.
Grandma is also
Can we assume that the boxes are for us? I mean, can we assume that you had us come here for the boxes?
Are you in the habit of receiving boxes?
Very good question.
Well, that will depend on the reason why we are here. I got my fingers in so many little pies, you know. Now, I can't think one of my little activities in which we are in the habit of receiving baskets, but more in a literal sense than really. You might receive boxes though under very special circumstances. I'm afraid that's the best answer I can give you.
It's a very interesting answer.
I thought so, but how?
No, I'm afraid not.
I wonder if it might help us any if I said I feel misgivings, that I have definite pains.
Where, Daddy?
Well, mostly right here, right around where the stitches were.
Daddy had an operation, you know.
Oh, you poor Daddy! I didn't know, but then how could I? You might have asked. It wouldn't have hurt you.
Try up, Grandma.
There you go. Letting your true feelings come out. Old people aren't dry enough, I suppose. My sacs are empty. The fluid in my eyeballs is all caked on inside edges. My spine is made of sugar candy. Ivory eyes. But you don't hear me complain. Nobody hears old people complain because people think that. That's all old people do. And that's why old people are gnarled and sagged and twisted into a shape of a complaint. That's all. What was wrong, Daddy?
Well, you know how it is. Doctors took out something that was there and put in something that wasn't there. An operation.
You're fortunate, I should say.
Oh, yes, he is, he is. All his life, Daddy has wanted to be a United States Senator. But now he's changed his mind, and for the rest of his life, he's going to want to be a governor. It's near the apartment, you know.
You are fortunate, Daddy.
Yes, indeed. Except that I get these pains now and then. Definite ones.
Oh, it's just a matter of things settling. You're like an old house.
Daddy, thank Mrs. Barker.
Thank you.
In case anybody's interested,
Wait, Grandma. You must forgive Grandma. She's rural.
I don't mind if I do.
Maybe Grandma has something to say.
Nonsense! Old people have nothing to say. And if old people did have something to say, nobody would listen to them. You see, I can pull that stuff just as easy as you can.
Well, you got the rhythm. You don't really have the quality. Besides, you're middle-aged.
I'm proud of it.
Look, I'll show you how it's really done. Middle-aged people think they can do anything. But the truth is, middle-aged people can't do most things as well as they used to. Middle-aged people think they're special because they're like everybody else. But we live in the age of deformity. You see, rhythm and movement. You learn.
I wish I were surrounded by women. I would like some men around here.
You can say that again. I don't hardly count as a woman. So can I say my piece?
Go on, jabber away.
It's very simple. The fact is, these boxes don't have anything to do with why this dear lady is here. Now, if you're interested in knowing why these boxes are
I'm sure that must be all very true, Grandma, but what does it have to do with that name again?
Mrs. Barker.
Exactly. What does it have to do with that name again?
Mrs. Barker.
Precisely. What does it have to do with why was her name is here?
They're here because we asked them.
Yes, that's why. Now, if you're interested in knowing why these boxes are here,
Nobody's interested.
you can be as snippety as you like for all the good of do you?
You two will have to stop arguing.
I don't argue with her.
If we just have to stop.
Well, why don't you call a van and have her taken away?
Don't bother. There's no need.
No, now. Perhaps I can go away myself.
One or the other. The way things are today, it's just impossible. In the first place,
When Mommy was born, well, it was a difficult delivery. She had a head shaped like a banana.
My God, you're ungrateful. Daddy, Daddy, you see how ungrateful she is? After all these years, after all we've done for her. One of these days you're going away. That's what's going to happen to you.
Tell. Like a banana! Just like a banana.
Mrs. Barker, don't listen to her. She'll say anything. Just the other night she called Daddy a hedgehog.
She did. That's right, baby. You stick up for me.
I don't know where she gets the words. On the television, maybe.
Did you call me a hedgehog? Look, what difference does it make whether I did or not?
Grandma's right. Leave Grandma alone.
How dare you!
Leave her alone, Daddy. The kids all mixed up.
What's that? Daddy, go into Grandma's room, take out her television, shake all the tubes loose.
I must. I must.
You won't find it. Oh, I'm so fortunate to have such a husband. Just think, I could have a husband who was bored or argumentative. Or a husband who sat in a wheelchair all the time. What have I said? What have I said?
You said you could have a husband who sat in a wheelchair.
I could die. I could
Oh, no, don't think about it.
I could.
Don't think about it, really.
You're right. I won't think about it. And that way I'll forget that I ever said it. And that way everything will be just fine. There. I forgot it. Mrs. Barker, now Daddy's out of the room, we can have some girl talk.
I'm not sure that
You do want to have some girl talk, don't you?
I was going to say that I'm not sure that I wouldn't carry a glass of water. I feel a little faint.
Grandma, go get Mrs. Barker a glass of water.
Go get it yourself. I quit.
Now, you'll be a good grandma. You know what will happen to you.
You don't frighten me. I'm too old to be frightened.
I'll tend you later. I'll hide your teeth.
Everything's hidden. I am going to faint. I am.
I've been... Go get it myself. Just you wait until I fix your bag again.
Go soak your head. Well, dearie, how do you feel? A little better, I think. Yes, much better. Thank you, Grandma. That's good. But I feel so lost not knowing why I'm here, and on top of it, they said I was here before. Well, you were. You weren't here exactly, because we moved around a lot. From one apartment to another, up and down the social ladder like mice. If you like similes, I don't particularly. Well, then I'm sorry. Grandma, I feel I can trust you. Don't be too sure. It's every man for himself around this place. Oh, is it? Nonetheless, I do really feel that I can trust you. Please tell me why they called and asked us here. I implore you. That feels good. It's been so long since anybody implored me. Do it again. Implore me something. You are your daughter's mother, all right. I don't want to be hard. If you won't implore me, then beg me or ask me or entreat me, just anything like that. You're a dreadful old woman. You'll understand someday. Oh, for heaven's sake, I implore you. I beg you. I beseech you. That's the nicest word I've heard in ages. You're a dear, sweet woman. You beseech me. I can't resist that. Well, then please tell me why they called and asked us here. Well, I'll give you a hint. That's the best I can do because I'm a muddle-headed old woman. Now listen, because it's important. Once upon a time, not a very long time ago, but a long enough time ago, there was a man, very much like Daddy, and a woman, very much like Mommy, who were married to each other, very much like Mommy and Daddy are married to each other. And they lived in an apartment with an old woman, very much like yours truly, only younger than me. Because it was some time ago, they were all somewhat younger. How fascinating! Now at the same time, there was a dear lady very much like you, who did all the good works. And one of these good works this dear lady did was someone very much like your dear capacity for an organization, very much like the bye-bye adoption bumble, who cares? At any rate, the woman, who was very much like Mommy, said that she and the man, who was very much like Daddy, wanted a bumble of their own. But the woman said that the man who was very much like Daddy couldn't have a bumble. And the man who was very much like Daddy said that the woman who was very much like Mommy couldn't have a bumble. And that now they wanted to buy something very much like a bumble. Oh, engrossing! Anyway, they bought something very much like a bumble and they took it away with them. But before that, the lady, who was very much like you, said something very much like, "Oh, what a shame, but take heart. I think we have just a bumble for you." And they cried and smiled and bit their fingers and said some more intimate things, which were totally irrelevant, but which were pretty hot stuff. And the lady, who was very much like you, listened with something very much like enthusiasm. "Really?" she said. But that's beside the point. I suppose so, but how gripping. Anyway, after they bought something very much like a bumble, there was some trouble. Trouble? I think I'll have to speed up now because I'm leaving soon. Oh, are you really? Yeah. But old people don't go anywhere. Old people are taking places to good places. Well, this old person is different. Anyway, things started going badly. Yes. In the first place, it turned out the bumble didn't look like either one of its parents. That was enough of a blow. But things got worse. One night it cried its heart out. Cried its heart out! That was only the beginning. Then it turned out it had only eyes for its daddy. For its daddy? Any self-respecting woman would have got those eyes right out of his head. Yes, she did. That's exactly what she did. But then it kept its nose up in the air. Disgusting. That's what they thought. But then it began to develop an interest in its you-know-what. In its you-know-what? I hope they cut his hands off at the wrist. They did that eventually. But first they cut off its you-know-what. A much better idea. That's what they thought. But after they cut off its you-know-what, it still put its hands under the covers looking for its you-know-what. So finally they had to cut off its hands at the wrist, naturally, and it was such a resentful bumble. One day it called its mommy a dirty name. I hope they cut its tongue out. Of course. And then, as it got bigger, they found out all sorts of terrible things about it. Like it didn't have a head on its shoulders. It was spineless. It had no guts. Its teeth were made of clay. Just dreadful things. Dreadful. So you can understand how they became discouraged. I certainly can. What did they do? What did they do? Well, for the last roll, they finally up and died. And you can imagine how that made them feel. They haven't paid for it and all. So they called up the lady who sold them the bumble in the first place. And told her to come right over to their apartment. They wanted satisfaction. They wanted their money back. That's what they wanted. My. How do you like them apples? My.
Mommy, I can't find Grandma's television, and I can't find the bikinis either.
Isn't that funny? I can't find the water.
Did you hide the water too? No, I didn't do that.
Truth of the matter is, I can't even find Grandma's room.
You certainly did hide something, didn't you? Sure did, sure.
Grandma, did you ever hear of such a thing? Daddy can't find your television and he can't find the bikinis. And truth of the matter, he can't even find your room.
I told you, I hid everything.
Nonsense, Grandma. You're a troublemaker. That's what you are. But you wait until I get my hands on you.
Well, I'll be out of here pretty soon, baby.
Oh, you don't know how right you are. Daddy's been wanting to send you away for such a long time now, but I've been restraining him. And let me tell you something, though. I'm sick and tired of this fighting, and I might just let him have his way. And you'll see what will happen. Away you'll go, in a van too.
I'm way ahead of you.
Oh, can you be so old and so smug at the same time? You have no
with Grandma out here and all. I don't see what Grandma has to do with it. And besides, I don't hear of any point.
You seem to forget that you're a guest in this house.
Apartment.
Apartment. And that you're a professional woman. So, if you'll be so good enough to come into the kitchen, I'll be more than happy to show you where the water is and where the glass is. And you can put 2 and 2 together if you're clever enough.
I suppose she's right. Well, that's how it is when people call you up and ask you to do something for them. I suppose you're right too. Well, Grandma, it's been very nice talking to you, and I've enjoyed listening. Say, don't tell Mommy or Daddy that I gave you that hint, will you? The hint? My God, I've forgotten about it. Oh, no, I won't read the word to them. I don't know if it helped you any. I can't tell it yet. I have to, what is the word that I want? Relate it. Yes, that's it. I have to relate it to certain things that I know and draw conclusions. What I really have to do is to see if it applies to anything. After all, I do volunteer work for an adoption service, but it isn't very much like the bye-bye adoption service. It is the bye-bye adoption service. And while I can remember Mommy and Daddy coming to see me about laying a bundle 2 years ago, I can't quite remember anyone very much like Mommy and Daddy coming to see me about laying a bundle. Don't you see? It really presents quite a problem. I have to think about it, mull it. But at any rate, it was really first class of you trying to help me. Will you still be here after I had my drink of water? Probably. I'm not as mighty as I used to be. I won't say goodbye then. No, don't you? Mommy, Daddy! People don't say goodbye to old people because they think that frighten them. Lord, dear. If they only knew how awful, "My, you're looking chipper" sounded. They wouldn't say that either. The truth is, there isn't much you can say to old people that doesn't sound just terrible. Come on in. Well, now, aren't you a breath of fresh air?
Hello there.
Are you the van man?
The what?
The van man, the van man. Are you here to take me away?
I don't know what you're talking about.
My, aren't you something?
What?
I said, my, aren't you something?
Thanks.
You don't sound very enthusiastic.
I'm used to it.
You know, if I were about 150 years younger, I could go for you.
Yeah, I would imagine so.
And will you look at those muscles?
They're quite good, aren't they?
They sure are. They natural.
Well, the basic structure was there, but I've done some work too, you know, in the gym.
I bet you have. You ought to be movies, boy.
I know.
Yeah, right up there on the old silver screen. But I suppose you've heard that before.
Yeah, I have.
You ought to try out for in the movies.
Well, I may have a career there yet. I lived out on the West Coast almost all my life, and I know some people who might be able to help me. I'm not in too much of a hurry, though. I'm almost as young as I look.
And will you look at that face?
Yeah, it's quite good, isn't it? Clean cut, Midwest farm boy type. Almost insultingly good looking in a typically American way. Great nose, great profile, honest eyes, wonderful smile.
You know what you are, don't you? You're the American dream, that's what you are. All those other people, they don't know what they're talking about. You are the American dream.
Thank you.
Who rang the doorbell? The American dream. What? Where is that, Grandma? The American dream, damn it.
How is that, Mommy?
Oh, some gibberish. Pay no attention. Did you find Grandma's room?
No, I can't even find Mrs. Barker.
What was all that?
That was just the folks. But let's not talk about them, honey. Let's talk about you.
All right.
Now let's see. If you're not the band man, what are you doing here?
Oh, I'm looking for work.
Are you really? What kind of work?
Well, anything. Anything that pays. I do anything. sense these things.
There might be something we can do around here.
Really?
Don't come any closer.
I'm sorry.
I don't mean I mind. I don't know whether I mind or not. But it wouldn't look well. It would look just awful.
Yeah, I suppose so.
Now stay there and let me concentrate.
Alright.
The folks have been in something of a quandary around here today. And I wonder if you might be some help.
I hope so, if there is any money in it. Do you have any money?
Oh, there's more money around here than you know what to do with.
I'm not so sure.
Well, maybe not. Besides, I have money of my own.
You do?
Of course. Old people quite often have lots of money. More often than most people think. Come closer so I can whisper. Not too close, I might make it.
Okay, sorry.
Hey. You look familiar.
What?
I said you look familiar.
I've done some modeling.
No, I don't mean that. You look familiar.
Well, I'm a type.
Yep, you sure are. Why did you say you would do anything for money if you don't mind me being nosy?
Oh, no, it's fine. It's part of the interviews. I'd be happy to tell you. It's that I have no talents at all, except what you see, my person, my body, my face. In every other way, I'm incomplete. I must therefore compensate.
What do you mean incomplete? You look pretty complete to me.
I guess I can explain it to you partially because you're very old. And very old people have perceptions they keep to themselves. Because if you expose them to others, you know what ridicule and neglect are.
I do, child, I do.
Okay, then listen. My mother was born, not born, of course. My mother died the night that I was born. And I never knew my father. I doubt if my mother did. But anyway, I wasn't alone. Because in the placenta, with me, there was someone else. My brother. My twin. We were identical twins. Not fraternal, identical. We had a kinship, as you cannot imagine. We felt each other breathe. His heartbeats tendered in my temples and mine in his. Our stomachs ached and we cried for feeding at the same time. Are you old enough to understand?
I think so, child. I think I'm nearly old enough.
I hope so. But we were separated, my brother and I, when we were still very young. And to this day, I never knew what happened to my brother. Except that, in the years that have passed, from time to time, I have suffered losses. A fall from grace, a departure of innocence. Loss. How can I put it to you? Or, like this. Once, it was as if all at once, my heart became numb. Just like that. It was wrenched from my body, and ever since that day, I've been unable to love anyone. Once, I was asleep at the time. I woke up and my eyes were burning, and ever since that day, I couldn't see anything with pity, with affection, anything but cool disinterest. And my groin, even there, ever since one specific agony, I've been unable to love anyone with my body. And my hands, I cannot touch anyone and feel love. And there's more. There are more losses. But it all comes down to this. I no longer have the capacity to feel anything. I have no emotions. I've been drained, disemboweled. What I do have is my person, my body, my face, and it will always be thus.
My child, I was mistaken before. I don't know you from somewhere. But once I knew someone very much like you.
Well, be careful. Be very careful. What I told you might not be true.
To be more precise, someone who might have turned out to be very much like you might have turned out to be. And unless I'm terribly mistaken, you found yourself a job.
Well, really? What are my duties?
You'll have to play it by ear, my dear, unless I get a chance to talk to you again. I gotta go into my act now. There you are, Grandma. I'm glad to see someone. I can't find Mommy and Daddy. Oh, what is this? This is the Batman. That's who it is. So very nice young men. Some things have changed for the better. I remember when I had my mother carted up, the one man who came for her wasn't anything near as nice as this one. Did you have your mother carted up too? Certainly, didn't you? Oh, at least I can't remember. Listen here, I need to talk to you for a second. Yes, Grandma. Now listen. Yes, Grandma. You got this lemma here with Mommy and Daddy, and I think I got to let. Yes, I don't know where they got to. They'll be back in now. Listen. I am sorry. You got this dilemma here with Mommy and Daddy. Dear, will you take the rest of my things out now?
No.
I got to lay out for you. Now listen. Oh. Oh! I don't think I could. Do you think that I could? Oh, what a wonderful idea! What an absolutely wonderful idea! Well, I thought it was. And you're so old. Well, I think it's absolutely marvelous. I don't have to find my bed right now. Good, you do that. Well, I think I'll say goodbye. I can't thank you now. You're welcome. Say it. Say goodbye. Oh, goodbye. Mommy! Daddy! I said Mommy! Goodbye. Oh, hello there.
All the boxes are outside.
I don't know why I bothered to take them with me. They don't have much in them. Some old letters, a couple of regrets, my knees, blind like that. My Sunday, my tea, television, 86 years of living. Some sounds, a few images, a little gadfly now, and you know, the things one accumulates.
Can I get you a cab or something?
Oh no, I'll take it from here, dear. Thank you just the same.
And what shall I do now?
You stay here, my dear. It will all become clear to you. You'll understand. Well,
Let me at least see you to the elevator.
that would be nice, dear. And I'm happy to tell you that the whole thing settled just like that.
Oh, we're very glad that everything's settled down. We were afraid there'd be a problem with delays and all.
Yes, we are very relieved.
That's what professional women are for.
Where's Grandma? Grandma's not here. Where's Grandma? And look, the boxes are gone. Grandma's gone, and so are the boxes. She's taken off and she's stolen something, Daddy.
Mommy, the van was here.
The what?
The van was
No,
here.
that's impossible.
I saw it with my own 2 eyes.
No, that's impossible. There's no Van Man. There's no such a thing as Van Man. We made him up. Daddy, where's Grandma?
There.
Daddy, where's Grandma?
There.
Shh! I want to watch this. Surprise! Surprise! What? Surprise I told you about. What surprise?
You know, Mommy?
Surprise?
You know, Mommy? Why we asked what's her name to come here?
Mrs. Barker, if you don't mind.
Yes, Mommy? You remember now about Bumble?
Yes. All right. Wonderful. This is Mommy.
How do you do?
Her name is Mommy.
How do you do, Mommy?
And this is Daddy.
How do you do, sir?
How do you do?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now, this is more like it. Now, this is a great deal more like it. Daddy, come see if this isn't a great deal more like it.
I can see that from here, Mommy. It does look a great deal more like it.
Yes, sir. Mrs. Barker, I don't know how to thank you.
Oh, don't worry about it. I'll send a bill in the mail.
Now, this calls for a drink. This calls for a celebration.
Nice idea.
There's some sauterne in the kitchen.
Oh, I'll go.
Will you? How nice. The kitchen's through the archway there. It's very nice. Really, Tasha, much better than the other one.
I'm glad you're pleased. I'm glad it was
Now we know why we sent for you. We're very glad that everything's cleared up.
By the way, what's his name? Call him what you want. He's yours. Call him what you called the other one. Daddy, what did we call the other one?
Here we are.
Let's... 5. Why 5? There are only 4 of us here. Why 5?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Now, you must learn to count. We're a wealthy family, and you must learn to count.
I will.
Everybody take a glass, and we'll drink to celebrate, to satisfaction. Who says you can't get satisfaction these days?
What a dreadful subterfuge!
Yes, it is, isn't it? You don't know how happy we are to see you. That time we had with the other one, I'll tell you all about it. After she's gone, she was responsible for all the trouble in the first place. And I'll tell you all about it. Maybe later tonight.
That would be very nice.
There's something familiar about you. I just can't quite place it.
Well, I think that just about wraps it up. I mean, for better or worse, this is a comedy. And I don't think we'd better go any further. No, definitely not. So let's leave things as they are right now while everybody's happy. While everybody's got what he wants. Or everybody's got what he thinks he wants. Good night, dears.